हम्म 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 मेरा भी वेबिनार शुरू हो रहा है तो मैं तेरे से बाद में बात करती हूँ एम आई ऑडिबल एम आई ऑडिबल ओके मेरा ना वेबिनार I will call you, confirm you. But my daughter, she has exam, she cannot come. है हाँ आई मैं आ सकती हूँ तनिष्का के पेपर चल शी कैन कम दिस वीक फिर दोबारा कब आएगी तो मैं आई वांट दैट डॉक्टर टू बी देयर दैट गर्ल टू बी देयर जो डॉक्टर है सोनाली सोनल फ्राइडे मॉर्निंग फ्राइडे मॉर्निंग है ना सो यू जस्ट डू इट फॉर मी नहीं हो पाएगा उतने टाइम में ज्यादा टाइम लगता है मुझे हाँ 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 ठीक है फ्राइडे का मॉर्निंग का ओके हाँ मेरा कर दे बट आई मेरे को पिछले टाइम 3 आवर्स लगे थे सुन हेलो सुन हाई हाई पे गई थी पर मैं ना कंपनी में मेरे साथ रहती है। तो मेरा आर्म्स अंडर लेग्स चिन चिन और ये है ठीक है नोटा का भी नेक्स्ट मंथ नेक्स्ट टाइम का रखना अच्छा चल बाय यू जस्ट राइट माय नेम ओके बाय या गुड मॉर्निंग so I just wanted to discuss with you. I have not yet prepared the that report, so I will do it tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, I will do it, and by evening I'll share the soft copy. The hard copy can be collected any other time. Where are you staying? Where are you? हाँ तो आप सैटरडे आई विजिट हॉस्पिटल सैटरडे आई डेंट गेट यू क्या बोल रहे हो
5-day webinar series of Gandhigram Rural Institute, going to be University, Madurai. This is GRI Center, and I am Krishna Kumar. We have a special guest today, Dr. Ashima Srivastava. I will introduce her a bit later. Let me first thank our Vice Chancellor, uh, Professor Subraj, our Registrar, Dr. Vidya Kumar, and our Chancellor, staff fraternity, student fraternity, for joining us in this webinar. To introduce Dr. Ashima, Dr. Ashima is an eminent clinical psychologist and intellectually stimulating, thought-provoking professional who works in congenial professional environment conducive for her patients. She holds an experience of over 18 years in the field of clinical psychology. She provides family and relationship counseling, behavioral therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, that's CBT, personality assessment, assessment of IQ and learning disorders, and various other types of therapies and assessment services. She is a very well-known, renowned psychiatrist in Delhi. She has also been certified and trained from USA in 2013 in diagnosing and treating neurodevelopmental disorders like ADHD, autism, etc. Dr. Ashima has a work experience as a child and adolescent clinical psychologist and developmental behavioral therapist in Max Super Specialty Hospital, Patpadan, since 2007 February. She is a guest faculty, Department of Psychology in Jamia Millia Islamia University of New Delhi, taking classes for MA since 2007. She is a very well known trainer and consultant psychologist for training workshops sponsored by NACO India in HIV, AIDS, and various STI councils at University Guidance and Counseling Center, Jamia Millia Islamia University. She is a senior research fellow in ICMR, funded in research products at Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences, Delhi, since January 1998 to 2004 October. Her education and training, uh, Dr. Ashima possesses a MPhil in clinical psychology from Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences, Delhi, 2004 to 2006. She is awarded PhD in child mental health in Delhi, 2006 to 2010. And she is certified and trained from University of California in the diagnosis and treatment of neurodevelopmental disorders and administration of ADOS2 on children with autism in 2013. Her specialty interest is she is child and adolescent psychology, neuropsychology, adult mental health and well-being, developmental disorders and appropriate treatment methods, behavioral therapies, and developments of new therapeutic techniques like modules for social skills, training for children with autism. Today, we have our distinguished special guest, Dr. Ashima Srivastava, to discuss about or to deliver a very important subject, a lecturing important subject, which is mental health. Mental health, we all know, we all need somewhere or the other, we all are sufferers also, irrespective of age, gender. Today, I welcome Dr. Ashima to give a lecture in enhancing mental health and building resilience during pandemic. Welcome, Dr. Ashima. You're welcome.
Thank you so much. My pleasure to be here amongst all of you. A very good afternoon to everyone. I am here to throw light on this important topic how we need to enhance our mental health and build resilience during this state of pandemic. As we all know that this current phase is a very tough phase and we all are going through this current scenario of lot of wherein we have been having lots of uncertainty, right? So I would be trying to discuss with you some important pointers which are essential for all of us to equip ourselves with, wherein we must be aware aware of and well versed with how to enhance and take good care of our emotional and mental well being, and how we need to build our resilience just in order to face and overcome these states of adversities. Moving on to the presentation, uh, I would just begin with, the current nowadays, as per the important saying that tough time doesn't last for long. But yes, it is understandable that tough people, they do last for long, and in a state of adversity we must look for a opportunity. Having a positivity and a positive perspective in any situation of crisis and uncertainty is definitely going to help us to overcome that state of adversity with a very positive mindset and achieve success. And during the current state of pandemic, I completely understand that we all are, undergoing lot of different emotions, and the amount of toll this pandemic might have taken on all of us is unbelievable. The threat of this deadly virus being coming into contact with that is itself terrifying. But it's understandable and acceptable that whenever there is a crisis situation, this is a normal reaction. And but we all must understand that if we are stressed out in any situation, and if we tend to have a prolonged duration of stress, that's definitely going to take a very negative effect, not only on our mental health but also on our physical health and overall productivity. So we must look out for strategies wherein we are able to build resilience and overcome this state of adversity with a lot of hopefulness and positivity. We all know that we all must understand and be aware of this fact that the best of the people, they are not born with everything, you know uh, best in their life. They tend to make things best for themselves. So that means that the best people, the successful people in their life, they are not born with all these successes. They try to achieve success after lots of hurdles and struggles. So here, what plays an important role is the positive perspective these people, they tend to have. Even despite lots of struggles they are going through in their life, still they are ready to cope up, overcome them with lots of positivity, and move forward towards enhancing their mental health and building resilience. Nowadays, we all have been undergoing lots of adversities, feelings of uncertainty associated with loss of livelihood because out of the current pandemic situation. And there have been in many scenarios, there have been economic crisis, the uncertainty related to financial instability, so which is likely to contribute towards a negative impact on our mental health. But yes, we all must be equipped how we have to overcome this scenario and build our mental health and enhance our skills wherein we are able to cater to the needs which look forwards towards building resilience and not letting us get affected at an emotional and mental level. So it's very important that we all must have some understandings and awareness and insight about different scenarios which prevail in a state of stressful situation. So coming to that, I we all know that there has been a lot of uncertainty associated with the current state of pandemic, and there has been heightened amount of uncertainty over the economy, employment, finances, relationships, and physical and mental health. Many of us have feelings of apprehensiveness with regard to the well care, the emotional and physical and mental well-care and well-being of our family members. But we all must keep in mind that if we feel overwhelmed out of this uncertainty and continue to worry, it's important to know that we are not alone during this state of pandemic. It's a global crisis affecting the community by large, and we are not the only person who are fighting this scenario and who's being affected. Many of us are sailing in the same boat. Uh, the important this quote states that the hardest parts it may give us scars, but also the bravest minds. So we all must understand that tough time gives us a lot of struggle, make us become more tough, but that also lead towards us becoming and developing a brave and strong mindset. So the stress during the current scenario, this is a phase wherein this is a new normal phase, and we all must keep in mind that we all are likely to undergo a lot of stress out of the pandemic situation. But in our new normal, we all are working amidst a world health crisis, and it is indeed difficult for all of us to deal with this state of uncertainty and getting stressed out. We all must know how we should learn to manage this current state of uncertainty by staying in the present scenario. So, coming to that, we must take each day as it comes to us and focus on the present scenario by taking looking towards things which are under our control, and looking towards things which are after things which are out of our control, which are not under our sphere of influence. So we must enhance this particular skill, and mindfulness and meditation, they can be very nice tools to help us how we should learn to stay in present. I will be coming to that later. uh, and we always must remember that there is always a hope, and at the end of the tunnel, the light is still shining. So we should not be hopeless. We should keep moving forwards by having a high amount of hopefulness, and definitely we will be able to overcome this current scenario. Uncertainty, it's definitely an unavoidable situation which is a part of our life which we all have to go through, and we all go through time and again. But it's very important to understand and keep in mind that if we continue to worry for hours together, that is definitely going to drop our enjoyment in the present scenario, and that's going to affect our overall productivity and affect our mental health. So here are certain tips which can help us. First is we must learn to focus on controlling only those things which are under our control. We must learn to challenge and embrace this current state of uncertainty with a positive mindset, and also we must look out over strategies wherein we are able to see less overwhelmed, reduce and overcome our anxiety and stress levels. We tend to overestimate the likelihood of something bad happening, and we always become ignorant and underestimate our own potential to cope up with a crisis situation. This is a normal human reaction. So, in order to cope up with uncertainty, we must look out for the triggers present in the environment which are contributing towards a current state of uncertainty. And we all must keep in mind that uncertainty, it often is centered on worries about the future. We keep brooding over past, looking forward, thinking about, planning about our future, and keep developing apprehensions related to our future, but we forget to stay in the present scenario. It's very important. We all must switch our attention to what is happening in the current scenario. That's very, very important. So, here are certain strategies which I'll be just briefly talking about how to manage the stress related to current pandemic situation and how we can enhance our mental health and physical well-being. So it's very important. We must avoid unnecessary stress. If anything is upsetting us, we should not uh, be confronting that situation, getting affected by that. We should look out for a strategy wherein we are able to overcome that stressful situation. And it's very healthy to address the issues rather than avoiding a situation. If anything is upsetting us, if anything we are withholding in ourselves or we have bottled up emotions, it's better to communicate. So, communication will definitely give us a vent out and will help us to take a positive perspective of the other person, because during a state of stress, it's a natural reaction that our perspective is likely to become negative. So, communication can help us to build our positivity and help us relieve of the stress which we are withholding in ourselves. We must alter the situations, figure out what is upsetting you, and if there is anything which is upsetting you, try to change that. Try to express your feelings instead of withholding themselves within yourself. If something is upsetting you at your college, at your office, you must try your level best that you express your discomfort to someone with whom you feel comfortable. That will definitely give you an ease. Also, then avoiding and altering the situation, we also must learn to adapt to the situation and adapt to the stressors. If you can't change the stressor, it is very important you must change your expectations and attitude towards that stressful situation by reframing the problems and having a positive perspective. That's very important. We all must learn to accept the things that cannot change. It's better we change our perspective. We cannot expect the outer scenario to change for us. So there are certain sources of stress which are unavoidable. We must learn to accept those things the way they come to us and keep moving forward. But we should not keep stress within us that it becomes detrimental to our mental well-being. And also we must try to control only those things which are in my sphere of influence to be changed, and looking for the upside challenges when we are facing in our life, we should try to look them as opportunities for personal growth. We should not get affected, we should not get panicked by these uncertainties and challenges in life. Rather, we should change our perspective and look out for these challenges as the opportunity for our personal growth, wherein we end up gaining confidence and overcoming the stressor. There are certain mental health challenges which are likely to be affecting many of us, and I have tried to brief them as follows. Many of us are feeling, apprehensive, low, sad, and many of us are feeling very anxious. And there are many people who have tried to adapt to the negative coping mechanisms in order to relieve themselves from stress, like getting on to addicted to alcohol or abusing other psychoactive substances. So, just a glimpse of the symptoms and the red flags which we must be aware of when we are talking about what is depression all about, anxiety, and looking out for the signs of suicide and addiction. So, when we talk about depression, it is a result of a chemical imbalance in our brain. So, there are certain neurotransmitters which, when are secreted in an imbalanced amount, they tend to make us feel sad and depressed. So the symptoms could be in terms of physical well-being symptoms like changes in sleep cycle and appetite changes. The biological symptoms they get affected, and a person tends to fall asleep with lot of difficulty or may have disturbed sleep during the sleep cycle. There are other emotional symptoms also, like which could be characterized by sad mood, loss of interest in routine chores, having a feeling of guilt, lack of hope, and having suicidal thoughts. And there are other symptoms, cognitive symptoms, which could be characterized by uh, feeling negative, deriving negative connotations out of every situation. So, identifying these issues in others can be tricky as individuals often downplay or simply never talk about things deeply bothering them. So, they tend to keep things keep their emotions up to themselves. So individual they stay quiet due to feelings of insecurity, fearing of standing out or embarrassment because of the cognitive symptoms. So these are the symptoms which could be characteristic of a person undergoing depression. And then is the anxiety. We all experience some amount of anxiety in every situation, which is definitely good because it keep us feel motivated and keeps us driving through whatever phases we come in our life. But if we are overwhelmed with a lot of anxiety when faced with any adversities, that is very, very alarming. And uh, wherein the characteristic features could be in terms of continuously brooding over negative things, worrying about things because of the negative cognitive symptoms, uh, irrational fear, or a person may have panic, which may interfere with their daily routine life. So, when your daily life is disrupted, anxiety crosses the line to become a medical condition. The causes of anxiety could be a combination of genetic, which are naturally occurring brain chemicals, different life experiences, and stressful situations. The symptoms could be characterized by feelings of stress and feelings of apprehension, irritability, headaches, heart palpitations. The heart tends to race fast, the muscle pains and the tensions in different muscles, and having irrational fear, which is totally, completely baseless. And some people they tend to have symptoms of diarrhea. So these are the characteristic features when a person is undergoing anxiety. So what are the signs which we should look for? The person may feel uncomfortable and extremely anxious in social atmospheres, may have trouble concentrating or seem to have a blank mind, seem to have guilt or stress, and have visible panic attacks. And what must be done is that we must avoid criticizing the severity of our friends and colleagues' symptoms and encourage them to try coping strategies that avoid them from causing further anxiety. Also, we should encourage them to visit a professional. Coming to what is suicide all about? It has been derived from a Latin term and it is the act of taking one's own life. Mental health professionals they define suicidal ideations as a prevalent pattern of thinking about or planning one's own death by one's own hand. And generally, experts consider overwhelming or highly detailed suicidal thoughts a mental health crisis. So we must there have been lot of issues which have been associated with the current state of pandemic. And if we talk about the adult population, they have been having a lot of stress because of the adversities like loss of livelihood, financial instability, and the economic crisis. And if we talk about the adolescents and college going students, they have been facing lots of uncertainty with regard to their career. because there is no certainty which is associated with the current scenario, and many of them are in a complete state of distress and confusion. So many students have been experiencing a lot of frustration and doubts, but sometimes those thoughts bring these students to a place where they seriously consider ending their lives. The signs of suicidal ideation, they differ from individual to individual. A person may talk about feeling trapped, feeling as if they are a burden to others, feeling like they have no reason in life, they have hopelessness, they feel worthless, and they feel like ending their own lives. A person may see, if we may see some of these behaviors, it's important to talk to them about the concerns they are going through and what are bothering them. And we must approach them with patience and motivate and help them seek out a professional help. So these are the certain measures which must be taken care of whenever we come across any person who tends to have suicidal ideas. So when we are talking about suicide, there are certain soft indicators which we all must keep in mind. A person might be self-confined, would lose interest interacting with anyone. They may not express their feelings. They may keep up bottling up their negative emotions within their mindset, which might bottled up to an extent wherein they are left with no other option than to end their life. So if we come across such a scenario, it's very important we approach them by our own selves, inculcate a lot of feeling of hopefulness in them, and make them understand that they are not alone. We are there to help them and support them. So if a person feels and perceives that yes, there is a positive support system to help that person to cope up with current negativity and current scenario, the person starts developing a feeling of hopefulness and looks forward towards all types of help and resources whatever are available. So there are certain safety measures which need to be taken. We must make the safety of the client the priority. We must remove all lethal objects and items out of the range of the person. We should always be there available for that person. We must communicate a message to that person that we are there to help them out. We must give them a listening ear so that they are able to vent out their feelings, and we must acknowledge and talk to them about the realities of suicide. We must remain in constant contact with them and be vigilant about their activities, and staying in contact makes a big difference to that person and can potentially save the life of a person who is at risk. There have been other associated issue which is cropping up because of the current state of pandemic. Many people who have strong coping mechanisms, they are able to cope up with the current scenario, but many people they are getting on to having developing maladaptive coping strategies, which could be characterized by active misuse of psychoactive substances and using alcohol, consuming alcohol. And many people are getting addicted to this. There is a psychological and physical instability to stop consuming a chemical, drug, activity, or substance, even though it is causing psychological and physical harm. So here the person becomes addicted to consuming it because that gives a relief to that person's mindset. But they do not realize that this is a completely maladaptive coping mechanism and should be stopped immediately. College students frequently use alcohol and recreational drugs, which can become problematic. Addiction describes a tangible pattern of physical and psychological dependence on one or more substances, including strong cravings to have it, consume them, and indulgence in substance abuse, despite knowing the side effects and harmful effects it can have on their psychological health and as well as physical health. So there are many students who are participating in alcohol and drug use in college and can still see and feel the side effects of withdrawal or prolonged use of these substances. And they are as follows. Some of them may have a fear, a feeling of fearfulness, anxiety, or paranoia for no apparent reason. They end up consuming alcohol to an extent wherein they build up the tolerance level, and so consuming less quantity of that alcohol or using that substance in less quantity will not give them a kick. So they need to consume more quantity of that, which is going to be in turn more harmful and unhealthy. User, they need to use more of the substance to obtain the same amount of this thing effect. So this is very important that they might, yeah, so they might have, they need to consume more amount to give them the effect which they want to have out of consuming those substances. There is likely to be a deterioration in their physical appearance, and as the change, like some of them may gain weight, some of them might have whiny eyes, and they might have slurring of speech and bloodshot eyes or impaired overall motor coordination could be evident. A sudden change in their relationships, activities, and hobbies, sudden need for money or financial crisis. And we must recognize for these signs, it is not always clear when alcohol drug use has turned from recreational to habitual. So we all must be aware of this fact that it should be consumed on occasional basis, but not on, we must not develop a habit of using it, because that will be detrimental to our physical health. And what we should be doing, we should ask ourselves or our colleagues or our friends that do they drink to relieve stress or suppress issues, and has their drinking interfered with their relationship with others. So these things are very important to be known. Have they withdrawn from their routine activities, and do their friends, their life revolve around drug or alcohol use? Have they developed a change in their personality? Have they developed sudden anger issues, or they have been having an incidents wherein they have had acting out tendencies, and wherein there had been no feeling of remorse and guilt once they have, acted out in certain situations? Have they developed a change in their overall personality, or have they noticed any unusual smell on their breath, body, or clothing? Drug and alcohol addicts, they often conceal their symptoms. They would not share their symptoms very soon. They might consume a mouth freshener immediately after consuming it, so that the others do not tend to know about that they have consumed some drug or alcohol. And when they are sober, it's always wise to communicate them when they are not in an intoxicated state, because for them to process the information then will be beneficial, and they would be able to understand it better. So these are certain, issues which have been associated with the current state of pandemic, and we all must look out for strategies which help us to improve our mental health. So we must feel free to feel our feelings and express our feelings. Expressing stress and feelings associated with are by no means a sign of weakness. Many of us they have misconceptions that if we express our feelings to someone, they might have they might become judgmental towards us or might carry an opinion about us that we are weak. But expressing your feelings to someone is not a sign of weakness. You are just trying to communicate and look out for a solution, and also put your into practice the strategies that have helped you in the past. When you are coping with this current scenario, we must try to use those strategies which have helped us in the past. We must perform regular check-ins with ourselves. We must take breaks from news and social media sites. Identify the factors that give you a meaning in life or a sense of purpose in life. Write certain positive quotes related to your purpose in life on a piece of paper. Carry them in your wallet whenever at your workplace or at your school or at your college you feel low or negative. Just refer to them to attain a lot of positivity and come overcome the negative state of mind. Monitor yourself for symptoms of depression, stress, like sadness, difficulty sleeping, and feelings of hopelessness. If you tend to identify these symptoms, it is important you must look out and seek a professional help. We all have that's a normal human nature. We all tend to, many of us tend to involve ourselves in worrying about things which are likely to affect us in the present scenario or in the future. But yes, we forget that constantly worrying 24 by 7 is going to affect our overall productivity and our physical and mental well-being. So we must organize a worry window wherein in a daytime we must allocate 15 minutes just to note down our thoughts which are making us feel apprehensive. We must write them and help ourselves, motivate ourselves to work through them. Likewise, we will be able to overcome the worry time very soon. Looking after our mental health would also include following a routine, getting up and going to the bed at similar time, eating healthy meals at regular intervals, exercising regularly that will help us to release the endorphins in our body which would elevate our mood and make us feel happy. We must minimize news feeds. Keeping informed about the latest updates in news uh, is good and healthy because that will help us to maintain adequate social distancing and take precautions. But excess of news intake is likely to be affecting our overall mental well being. We must restrict to our screen time, limit the amount of use of alcohol or other psychoactive substances. We must develop a practice of using social media not for negative news intake rather than spreading a positive message to people to promote a positive and helpful stories amongst everyone. Many of us we don't understand, and uh, during a state of negativity we tend to always involve ourselves in negative self talk. Sometimes we forget that it is very important that we must take out some time for ourselves wherein we talk to ourselves during these challenging situations, provide that would provide a buffer to us during these difficult circumstances and help us to relieve of our stress. So we must be compassionate enough to look for solutions wherein we end up becoming positive. It is very important when we are talking about mental health. At the same time, we must know that we must have certain strategies which help us to overcome negative situations and enhance our coping mechanism to fight these situations. So, resilience would mean having the ability to adapt well in any stressful situation with a positive mindset. So, feeling positive emotions in the midst of a global crisis can promote our overall resilience. Resilience, it is the capacity to recover quickly from difficult situations. So here are certain tips if we are finding any chore or work to be overwhelming for us, and we feel that it is too lengthy or too much for me to uh, finish up. It's better we break those challenges into small, achievable steps. That will definitely help us to relieve ourselves of the stress associated with the work. Also, we must develop a habit of taking short breaks during the work routine to rejuvenate ourselves with positive mindset and improve our focus. Connecting regularly with others time and again during their work routine will make us feel and stay happy. We may indulge in music regularly for relaxing ourselves and also avoid overflow from the stress bucket. Here, if we are feeling stressed out, it's better we avoid the overflow by expressing our feelings to someone by communicating with them. And also, we must develop a routine wherein we share our feelings with people by communicating them and taking a positive perspective from the other person. There are certain strategies which can help us to reduce our stress and improve resilience. First is the mindfulness. Basically, what we teach in mindfulness is that we train and equip the person not to change the situation which is distressing to you. Many of us try to alter the situations when we are going through any state of stress. So mindfulness basically it equips the person to stay in the present scenario, learn certain strategies to be aware of the present situation and enhance their positivity and overall well-being. So mindfulness it helps and makes the person uh, being aware of their own self, and by staying in the present situation and understanding and interpreting every situation in the present scenario as it is. It is basically a form of self awareness. A person tries to develop and improve awareness about their own self, in which the attention is all paid to if a person is feeling anxious and he has lot of physiological changes taking place in the mind and the body, like having palpitation, difficulty breathing, or hot or cold flashes. So through mindfulness we would help the person to become aware of the different bodily sensations which are going through in their mind, and uh, equip themselves to stay in the present situation by building their awareness about the physical sensations and improving their overall resilience. So basically mindfulness it helps a person to develop awareness about their own self and improve their overall mental well-being. The other could be practicing visualization and guided imagery. So basically, visualization it uses the power of improving your imagination skills to help you relax or relieve the symptoms. For example, if any one of us is having pain symptom, so we just would close our eyes, imagine all the pain signals being cut out with a scissor, and it is leading towards improvement in my pain symptom. So basically, I'm trying to visualize, imagine that all the pain signals in my body are being cut out. So visualize by imagining yourself without pain, cutting the connections that sends the pain signals. So visualization would also help us to relieve of the stress. Next is the relaxation. This is an emotional state wherein a person doesn't feel stressed out, feel very calm, and there are no more tension taking place in the different muscles, and there is complete state of absence of arousal that come from sources such as anger and anxiety. Other could be practicing art therapy. Basically, it involves using different visual art materials like drawings, colors, with which a person can create the pictures or objects that carry personal meaning. For example, if a person is feeling stressed out because of a pain in the head, right? So they might uh, draw a figure wherein prominently they color this area of the body, which signifies that yes, they are getting relief in the headache. So art therapy, this is basically an emotional expression. If you're feeling angry, you can express yourself, your anger, by expressing a piece of art that will also give a vent out to your feelings, wherein instead of developing in acting out tendencies, you can substitute that by expressing that anger in a state of art. It may help release bottled up emotions and give you a new understanding and a perspective. Music therapy, it has shown beautiful results with many people with many disorders. So music therapy, it is very soothing. When we play music, the lyrics and the beats of the music, they are so soothing that it automatically relieves all of all of us through stressful feelings. So uh, it helps express your emotions and improve overall emotional and physical well-being. It can be the safest place for everyone to explore their fear, express their anxiety, anger, and different emotional responses to stress. These are other strategies. Uh, Writing a letter of thanks. If I'm feeling low, for instance, what I can do is I can just pick up a paper and a pen, express my gratitude towards someone who has played a very positive role in my life. So I may start writing a letter of thanks to that person by expressing my gratitude as to how that person has contributed in my life, and what I am today is because of that person. So once I express myself, the gratitude towards that person, that will make me feel very happy and positive, and help me to overcome the negative feelings and strengthen my relationship. Also, we could express extra acts of kindness like doing things to help others. It is not only a good feeling for the person who receives, but also for the person who does. So it is a positive payback for our happiness and overall health. Other, we can also develop a habit of wherein we learn to introspect our own selves by journaling our thoughts. So it basically would help you to introspect and make you become aware of your emotions as to how you are feeling. So if you are feeling negative, it's better you journal your thoughts, write them on a piece of paper. That will writing will help you to introspect your feelings in a better manner. Or you could develop a routine wherein you could just write your blessings of the last year, when you actually think that there had been just two blessings in the last year I have faced, and beyond that I'm not able to recall. But actually, when you come to writing your blessings, there would be stream of so many thoughts in the past last year which has made you feel good. So you would end up counting more blessings than you had actually anticipated. So, writing your thoughts, journaling your thoughts, writing your blessings would definitely help you and give a way towards positive thinking. Also, if we are feeling negative in any state, this is the best exercise which I share with my most of my clients, practicing positive affirmations. So, positive, when we talk about positive psychology, even if we are in a state of negativity, any scenario, any adversity in our life, but we talk positive, we think positive, automatically that negative situation would become positive for us and we'll start perceiving that situation as positive. So, whenever we are in a state of distress, the best exercise is repeating positive affirmations during the day. This is basically a self talk which can help enhance positive conversations in your mind. Like, for example, my challenges are not sent to destroy. Some of us may feel very overwhelmed when we are facing any challenge. Just to overcome that feeling of overwhelming with that particular situation, we may repeat to ourselves that my challenges, current challenge is not sent to destroy me. It has basically sent to strengthen me. So it is an opportunity for my personal growth. So this is a positive affirmation. The other could be I will not stress over things which I cannot control. Rather, I would stress over things which are in my reach and in my control. Strengthening positivity can also be done by humming the tune of your favorite song. You can hum it to yourself. Stop criticizing yourself again and again. Start loving yourself. Be compassionate towards yourself. Remember, giving up negative self talk really will relieve you a lot of stressful feelings. You can also, this is very, very important for everyone here listening to me, including myself. Nowadays, yes, we all must be grateful to the technology which has helped us to stay connected with all our family members, colleagues, friends across the globe. But technology comes in itself with lots of feelings of negativity and negative effect. It's very important. It can be wonderful, but interconnectedness with the technology comes at a price. The laptops, the phones, and the tablets, they increase our stress levels, making us feel constantly wired. If we tend to develop a practice of using them out of 24 hours, 12 days in a day, they can disrupt our sleep cycle, which will only not contribute to stress but also affect our overall health. So, it's my sincere advice and request to everyone. This is a very, very important message that we must develop a habit of switching them off an hour or two before going to bed. And also, we must develop a habit of restricting the screen time that will definitely enhance our overall well being. We could also reflect to strengthen our positivity. We can reflect our daily routine as to what achievements I have made in my day. That will help me improve my overall productivity, will give me a positive message, make me feel happy, and improve my self esteem and ease down my anxiety. Many of us do not realize that we end up wasting lots and lots of time when we are running after things which are not in our vicinity of control and sphere of influence. So we must learn to shift our focus to what we can control. We see meaningful and lasting differences in our well-being. Write down what you have control over inside and outside you. Then know the things you cannot outside your circle using certain examples like uh, Exercising regularly is under my control. Changing the policies of the government is not in my control. So always look out for those things which are in your control. If I feel that exercising regularly makes me feel happy, so I can increase my duration and incorporate that in my daily routine. Also, we must learn to appreciate everybody's efforts. Acknowledging the efforts, instead recognition and appreciation will keep help us keep each other motivated. So show others their work is meaningful and remarkable by sharing their great outcomes. We all have our share of struggles and hardships and achievements. It's very important we bring it out in front of everyone to spread a positive message and build a healthy relationship. This will positively impact us by scaling up our self confidence. Last but not the least, maintaining a positive attitude that plays a very, very important role. Happiness, it involves having gratitude for the past, enjoying the present, and being optimistic about the future. So, I would request everyone to understand and keep in mind that having a positive frame of mind would definitely help you to achieve success even during any state of adversity. I would like to end up here and would appreciate if any one of you has doubts and any queries. I'm here to answer to them.
Thank you, Dr. It was really wonderful to hear you, uh, specifically as a specialist in psychology. You have touched upon many topics which are very, very important in life, day-to-day life of different age groups and different genders. Questions are there, definitely. Um, People would like to hear you also in their concerning areas. A couple of questions. First one is selfishness. Selfishness is child of mental health and the situation. Right? Uh, how to overcome this selfishness?
Selfishness. Okay. See, being mean to yourself, if it's not harming other person, is fine. Okay. And selfishness in terms of a positive outcome without uh, affecting anyone is always fine. But yes, if we are being selfish at the cost of the damage being provided to other person, that should be avoided. And we must look out for certain scenarios and examples in our life wherein if we ourselves go through that particular feeling that I am being affected because of the other person's selfishness, then I will be able to understand that particular thing better. And it's better that I put myself in other person's shoes and then uh, reason out this particular understanding and thought process that yes, how it is going to affect me if I am being victimized by other person being selfish, right? So putting myself in other person's shoes will give me a better perspective as to how much it is negative and detrimental to other person's feelings or emotions. But yes, if I am being selfish, uh, in terms of gaining something in my life, striving something in my life, wherein it is not affecting anyone, I would say that that's fine. But yes, if you are selfish in every scenario wherein you are hurting other person, that practice should be avoided.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, there is a situation. There is a situation. Many people lose their jobs at this particular crisis time. Unemployment is in very high level, and layoffs at firms are very common nowadays. Uh, how to deal with this depressing or depressing situation.
Okay. So during this time of adversity, there has been a lot of adverse uncertainties which have been associated, and many of people have definitely lost their livelihood by losing their job or financial crisis. But yes, a person when they tend to face this situation, they just try to give up all the resources whatever they have. They do not realize that they should concentrate on those things which are available for them. Fighting the current state of adversity can be overcome by dealing with it with a positive perspective. Like, for example, if I personally feel that I am being affected the most by this particular scenario, I should look not feel very hopeless and feel negative. This is not the end of life. First of thing, the very important message is that we all must have this understanding and thought in our mind. This is not the end of the world and end of life that I will not get a job again. Look out for the potentials you have, these strategies you have utilized in the past scenario, wherein you were almost in the similar situation, wherein you might have approached some of your colleagues who might have confronted the same situation 5 years back. So utilize and adopt to those strategies. Try to think positive, take a positive perspective that will help you to build up resources for yourself and fight this current challenge with a positive mindset and give you the success and outcome. So being panicked, being hopeless completely that I cannot manage my life, I will not be able to find a job, it's not this that feeling should not be encouraged. Just calm yourself, ease down yourself, look out for all the resources, whatever you have. Definitely, once you are able to ease down yourself, think constructively without getting panic, you will be able to look out for your solution. Yes, it will take some time for you to come to normal lifestyle, but it's not that you will never ever get a job. But try to utilize all the resources whatever you have to fight the current situation. Definitely you will be able to win the battle. Always remember that there is always the hope and the light at the end of the tunnel. So do not be hopeless. Keep moving ahead. Definitely you will be able to strike the balance and win it.
That's a fantastic point, doctor. Now, you have touched upon the subject of suicides, right? We are coming across many situations in many news or situations in kids getting this kind of suicide attempts. They are preparing for that and they are attempting during this number game of NEET or any other competitive examinations. How should we treat them? Means as a friend, as a father, as a mother, or someone who is close. How should we deal with these people?
First of all, I would like to add here is that there are many families wherein uh, parents they do not realize that when it comes to them that there been any pressure from your end, parents would outrightly refuse. No, doctor, we are not having any expectation from our child. But when you talk to a child, you get to know that my parents are always comparing with my cousin who has cleared IIT exam. Okay, somewhere not directly but indirectly, you are always quoting the example of the person who had gained success, not concentrating on your own child, what trauma he's going through. The child is currently so traumatized with the hardships he's facing currently because of the uncertainties associated with the career outcomes or the academic burden. Many of the children, they are not able to they are not able to capture through online classes. So, and the routine which they have to uh, go through during this lockdown period and of the schools and colleges routine, it is becoming very difficult for those kids to follow this routine, wherein parents are always nagging them, they are always under the vigilance of their parents. So I would like to add here is that before giving highlight or tips about the child, it is first important for the parents to be well versed as to what is depression about, how it leads to suicidal thoughts, the negative thoughts, and the feelings of harmfulness and self harm. So, when we are talking about parents, it is very important that they should be well equipped and should have an understanding as to what is depression all about. If a child is feeling low, is self confined by himself, not interacting with anyone in the family, prefers to stay alone within the room, doesn't move out of the room, always confined to himself, there has been a change in the child's behavior wherein he has reduced overall interaction with everyone in the home, which he was not the way earlier, and has been just talking about negativity. There is no positive frame of mind the child is going through. And the child is expressing or giving a signal to the parents that he is not comfortable talking to parents, because somewhere, sometimes in many families, parents are not able to tackle this situation in a proper manner. It's better parents seek a professional help at the earliest before it gets too late. So when we are talking about the signs of suicide, a person might indulge in constant worrying, crying, this overall restriction in the overall behavior, no interaction with anyone in the family, just having a negative frame of mind 24 by 7, not able to think on a positive direction. So, if a child is having these symptoms, it is very important parents should understand and get these signals. They should understand that yes, the child is uh, going through some negative mental frame. Parents should be available for their kids. They should reach out to their kids, communicate to them, and inculcate a lot of positivity and hopefulness to their child. And they should communicate this message to their child that for us, you are the only thing which is important. We Nothing matters to us. Only what matters to us is you as a person. If a child is expressing distress related to academic burden or distress related to his other issues, routine issues, so parents should learn the strategy how to address that. That is really going to help the child to ease down. If the child is not comfortable in opening up with the parents, the child should be encouraged to write down his feelings in the form of letter, drafting a message or a mail to their parents, wherein parents are able to understand what actually is the mental agony the child is going through. In many families, children are introvert. Many kids are introvert. They are not comfortable in opening up with anyone. So the best exercise is writing down their feelings. So that will definitely give a message to parents as to how and what the child is going through and how it needs to be addressed.
Thank you, doctor. It was very valuable piece of advice. Uh, there is one thing I would like to ask in this particular scenario: loneliness and its impact in mental health. For example, there are many persons working from home. They are also suffering from anxiety, fearfulness, and depression, and so on and so forth. Many people, as you rightly said, that you should express yourself what do you need, and you should not feel shy about it. So sometime it backfires also. At that particular point, people get into that loneliness part of it. How loneliness impact the mental health?
See,
And
loneliness again is a sign of indication of the fact that the person is getting into depressive phase, right? So when we are talking about loneliness, loneliness would mean a person feels low, doesn't feel like talking to anyone, feels sad in all the situations, and is not able to come out of the feeling of loneliness because he's not able to think constructively beyond a point, and becomes hopeless and helpless also, and completely starts feeling that I am feeling lonely, there is no one to share my feelings or spend good time with me. Definitely that is an indication that person is going into depressive phase. So in order to help the person to overcome this feeling of loneliness, here are certain advices which I would like to share. A person must allocate certain time frame in the day wherein he ensures, the family member ensures, they sit beside him even if the person is not feeling comfortable in sharing any moment with the family or talking to family members. Still, family members should break this barrier, move forward, sit with the person, with the family member, and talk to them at length, develop a routine wherein they are able to spend good quality time, they are able to uh, communicate and involve themselves in a conversation with this person who's feeling lonely. Somewhere starting today, by end of third or fourth day, the person might start feeling better, might start feeling that yes, there are other people in the house who are able to communicate with that person and communicate positive messages to that person. So that will give that person a positive perspective towards the current state of negativity, and the person might feel that he's not the only person who is going through, it is affecting everyone. And also the person can indulge and develop a routine wherein he start uh, getting connected through virtual meetings, virtual video calls, virtual video games with friends and family, other family members or relatives, that will help that person to improve the social distancing, but at the same time decrease the emotional distancing. If the person feels that he's feeling lonely, the best is to connect through virtual video calls on a routine basis wherein he feels that his emotional distancing is being reduced. He has others to connect with. And when he tries to connect with other people, he will start feeling good. And it might inculcate a feeling of happiness and hopefulness in that person. That can also help that person to overcome loneliness. He may indulge in a routine wherein he listen to music, and he may exercise, he may indulge in a routine wherein he set up a routine and follow an example by being a good role model for the other family members. So these certain activities can definitely help the person start feeling better and overcome this feeling of loneliness.
thank you, doctor. Now there are two different subjects, but yes, it can be connected. Physical exertions. How important is physical exertions and the role in mental health, developing mental health? And the second one is, we are talking about, you have touched upon a subject of meditation. What are all the steps you suggest for a beginner in terms of meditation?
Okay. Basically, we all need to understand what is meditation all about and what is the role of meditation. So when we talk about meditation, this is a state of relaxation wherein we are not going through a state of arousal if we are in a state of distress or facing any stress. So meditation, it helps us to feel at ease and calm ourselves. So practicing meditation will help us to enter into a state of mind wherein I am not affected with any negativity or any stress in my life, the challenges the life throws on me, the current challenges and the future challenges that the life may throw on me. So meditation will help me build up certain strategies within myself that wherein I don't feel overwhelmed with any stressful situation. I am in a complete state of calmness and positivity whenever I am facing any state of distress. So, this is what is the rationale behind doing meditation and meditating for at least uh, 15 to 20 minutes in a day in the morning hours before we begin our day will definitely make me give strength, develop strength in myself to cope up with the hardships which I may come across during the 24 hours. So, meditation is likely to equip me and help me to enhance my overall mental well being and improve my overall emotional well being. So, meditation should be incorporated in daily routine that can help me to develop certain strategies wherein I am able to not get affected with any adversities or stressful situations I'm going through. So that is the rationale behind doing meditation.
Thank you, doctor. Coming to a closure, it was a very, very wonderful day for us, all of us, whoever has been listening to you. Very valuable inputs in life, practical inputs in life, useful inputs in life, and essential inputs in life. All these things put together as a capsule. This 1 hour has enlightened many, including me. I really
Thank you.
thankful to you, Dr. Ashima Srivastava, for participating in this webinar. You have, for a formal conclusion, you have given a very fantastic lecture in enhancing mental health and building resilience during pandemic. Thank you so much, Dr. Ashima. You are
My
most welcome
pleasure.
once again and again. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you. Jai Hind. Thank you so much.